July Mahabodhi Karuna Charitable Hospital Letang National Health Mission UT Ladakh ngiske zungdela taldik jate jak ngi se rin medba sotang phanchisma amagunla chekabe taldik jate yoteno kabo phanchisma amagune fia ses chuksume jaga Mahabodhi Karuna Charitable Hospital Letang ses chubji jaga Eliezer Jordan Memorial College le dunla yotkhane Pharma Aid Clinic enanga chekabe fia skyot nyenchesinok tenna chosla se checkup Diot Khangun says Chuksum Tang Chubji Jaga, Mahabodhi Karuna Charitable Hospital Lias Kyodazat Thugjeche July.
What we want! Tibet belongs to!
Tibetans!
Tibet belongs to!
Tibetans!
Wake up, wake up!
UNO!
Wake up, wake up!
UNO!
Wake up, wake up!
UNO!
No human rights!
India!
No human rights!
Tibetans!
Tibet belongs to!
Tibetans!
What we want! What we want!
We want freedom!
What we want!
We want freedom!
What we want!
We want freedom!
Wake up, wake up!
UNO!
Wake up, wake up!
UNO!
Tibet belongs to!
Tibetans!
Tibet belongs to!
Tibetans!
Tibet belongs to!
Tibetans!
Long life! Long life! Long life!
We want justice!
Well, I think today marks the 64th anniversaries of Tibetan Women National Uprising Day. So it was the day we actually remind that it was in 1959 when China has illegally occupied Tibet. So it was the time when all the women gathered near the Potala Palace, including the Pamos, we call it, like Tibetan women martyrs who sacrificed themselves for the freedom and the safeguard of Tibet as an independent country. So now it's actually 64 years that we have been in exile, and it's a constant reminder that we are far away from home. And for Tibetans in exile, especially Tibetans in Ladakh, has to remember this day to promote and to preserve our own identity, culture, and tradition by learning our own language, by preserving our indigenous practices. So I think this is a very important day, and especially for women taking part into the freedom movement of Tibet. Yeah, it's actually true. We have been urging the United Nations, the members of parliament around the world, the human rights organizations and the international organization to support our cause, because what happens in China is actually a cultural genocide, erase or eliminations of particular ethnicity, that is Tibetan, and then Sinicizations of Tibetans in Tibet, right? So I think we have been, now it's been 64 years, we have been urging all the world leaders, all the international organization and human rights organization to actually come together and then talk about China's brutal crackdown in Tibet. And especially China is pretty like superpower this day that it's very difficult to question China's accountability, because they are the one who's sourcing money to the UN, and they are actually silencing everybody with the power of money. So it's actually difficult, but then we Tibetan never lose hope to go back to Tibet and to urge the world leaders to support our cause, because if they don't support us, then there will be more occupation, there will be more colonization, not only in Asia but in Africa. Right now what China is doing in Africa or in Sri Lanka, and those are actually a form of a colonization that the world leaders should really keep an eye, and they have to speak and tell the truth to everyone, and then hold China accountable for what they have been doing for 64 years. And it's not only Tibetans, right? It's the Uyghurs, the Xinjiang, the minorities, and the Taiwan and Hong Kongese and Inner Mongolias. Everybody is suffering under China's, and then their huge surveillance is one of the reasons that we cannot actually counter back. But when the world unite together to race against China, then there would be a possible. And when money does not become the currency of silencing the atrocities of human rights, then we are going to win the war. Well, basically G20 is all about economic organization, right? Where every great 20 countries from the world come together and they have, a meeting, right? And India being the presidency of this year, and especially Modi being the president of G20 this year. And then one of the meeting is going to held in Ladakh in April 26 to 28, right? So even though it might be commercial, but then India should never accommodate when it comes to border. As there's no border between India and China, it was always an India and Tibet border, right? And no matter how much the deal and the talk is about economy, but when it comes to soil and the blood of the people, we should never sacrifice that. And then India should definitely keep in mind that never compromise the land and the soil on economic terms. So I would request all my Indian fellows and people who are participating in G20s and all the stakeholders to keep in mind that just keep this as a business level talk and never accommodate with the border issues or the political issues and the atrocities that are actually happening in Tibet. Because as His Holiness says, India is our guru, right? So we have the strongest bond in our history. Thank you.